Welcome back to the cryptowrld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, Bitcoin is testing this important area of support, while Ethereum just broke below this line of support, which sets up new price targets to the downside. So I'll be talking about that later in the video. Definitely stick around. First of all, just giving you a quick update here on the daily Bitcoin chart, and right now the price of Bitcoin is on the edge of breaking below this previous area of resistance. And in case you're new to this channel, this previous area of resistance is sitting in between around 28,000 to 29.5k. And so basically, if we end up seeing a confirmed break back below around 28,000 with something like a daily candle close below 28,000 to confirm that break, then in that case, the next significant area of support that I'll be looking towards is sitting at around 24 to 25,000 approximately here on the daily time frame. And if we do end up seeing a confirmed break back below 28,000, then in that case, that would be one confirmation signal pointing towards a possible trend reversal from a larger bullish trend here on the daily time frame to potentially a new bearish trend beginning. Now, obviously, it is important to mention that even in a bullish trend, we do have corrections and pullbacks from time to time. So technically speaking, it is still possible that we could just be in a correction within a larger bullish trend, because, for example, this correction that we saw during late February entering into early March was around a 22% move to the downside before the bullish trend continued later on. And so if you measure a 22% move from this local high right here, that would basically put us at around $24,000, right around this area of support. So essentially, just based on the size of this previous correction, it's technically still possible the price could dump down towards around 24 to 25,000. And if we bounce from that level, we could still be making larger, higher lows and higher highs on the chart. But obviously, just in the shorter term, it is clear that we have reduced bullish momentum. In fact, some bearish momentum is beginning to build in the shorter term as we are in a pause from that larger bullish trend. And of course, this is what I've been talking about over the last few days, because the daily Bitcoin RSI was recently overbought, meaning we're due to see a pullback or at least a pause from the trend. And on top of that, in the MACD over the last few days already, this has been warning that we have low bullish momentum. And now if you're zooming into the shorter term, this is on the 4-hour Bitcoin chart, and obviously we've also had this active bearish divergence playing out in the short term, as I've been warning about every day since all the way up here. And even right now, technically speaking, this bearish divergence is still currently active because we haven't seen any confirmation signals to actually invalidate this bearish divergence, like a breakout in the RSI or new higher highs in the RSI or the price action. So once again, this bearish divergence in the shorter term is still currently active. It is still playing out. But right now, as of recording this video, the price of Bitcoin is testing an important area of support, which is sitting in between around 27.5k to around 28k. And of course, this is based on the fact that we have previously found a lot of support in that same price range back over here. But in a more bearish scenario, let's just say if this support fails and we see a confirmed break below around 27.5k, then the next short-term support level that I'll be watching is sitting at around 26,500, more specifically around 26.6k based on these previous lows. And then obviously, if that support level breaks, that is when we can start targeting towards around 24 to 25k, which is a more significant range of support seen here on the daily time frame. So once again, technically speaking, it is still possible we could remain in a larger bullish trend on the larger time frames, but at least in the short term, obviously we have been more bearish than bullish for quite some time now, and this mostly started with that bearish divergence that obviously I've been warning about since all the way up here. So just in the shorter term, I would not be expecting any significant amount of bullish momentum. Of course, it is possible we could see a bit of a bounce from these support levels, but in order to flip more bullish again in terms of the trend and essentially resume the larger bullish trend, we need to begin to see more bullish confirmation signals, such as the invalidation of this bearish divergence, which we haven't seen as of right now. And now, if you're looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart here on the weekly time frame, right now we are still seeing a rejection in the Bitcoin dominance. And so once again, what this actually means is that Bitcoin is essentially underperforming against the rest of the crypto market on average. And so technically speaking, right now, the altcoin market is actually gaining dominance. The altcoin market is outperforming Bitcoin on average, which of course in a down market, if we're seeing prices go down against the US dollar, that simply means altcoins on average are not losing as much as what Bitcoin is losing. But remember, that is on average, not every single altcoin. So obviously there would be some altcoins out there performing a lot worse than others, but just on average, the overall altcoin market is performing slightly better than what Bitcoin is doing, at least as of right now, considering we're seeing a rejection in the Bitcoin dominance. And obviously it is important to mention that ETH, being the largest alternative to Bitcoin, does in fact skew this number. So of course, if ETH is performing better than Bitcoin, we could see a dump in the Bitcoin dominance, even if the rest of the altcoin market isn't doing too good. But anyway, now getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this right here is on the daily ETH to US dollar chart. And obviously over the last 1 to 2 days, we have seen a confirmed break back below this previous area of resistance, which is sitting in between around 1980 to 2040. And so technically speaking, the next significant area of support on the daily time frame is sitting in between around 1770 to 1820. But in a more bearish scenario, let's just say if we break below 1770, then in that case we have this area of support in between 1650 to 1.7k. And once again, as I explained earlier for Bitcoin, as we saw during late February entering into early March, we did see around a minus 21 to 22% correction in the price of ETH, but that occurred within this larger bullish trend. And so far, the price of ETH from the local top to where we're sitting at the time of recording this video is down around 10 to 11%. And if you're measuring out a minus 20 to 22% move, that brings us right into this bottom area of support right here. Once again, in between around 1650 to 1.7k, if we have around an equal size correction as what we saw back here. So obviously, even though we are more bearish than bullish in the short term, it is still possible we could remain within a larger bullish trend unless we see more bearish confirmation signals on the larger time frames, like significant lower lows and lower highs beginning to form. And now if you're zooming into the shorter term, this right here is on the 4-hour ETH to US dollar chart. And right now, as of recording this video, the price of ETH is breaking below this ascending line of support, which is currently sitting at around 1950. But technically speaking, it is still possible we could find some support in this price range, which is sitting in between around 1920 to 1940. So at least for now, as of recording this video, that is still the area of support that I'm paying attention to on the 4-hour time frame. But if we see a confirmed break below around 1920, then in that case, I'll be looking towards this next area of support sitting in between around 1830 to 1850. And in a more bearish scenario, if we break below that area of support, then that is when I'll be looking at these larger areas of support here on the daily time frame. So overall, just in the shorter term, considering this bearish divergence is still active, as I've been warning about since all the way up here, we are technically more bearish than bullish in the shorter term. I would not be expecting any significant amount of bullish momentum in the short term. Of course, it is possible we could see a bit of a short-term bounce from support, but in order to see any substantial bullish momentum or continuation of the larger bullish trend, we need to invalidate these things like bearish divergences in the short term, which we have not seen as of right now. And more importantly, we need to see a confirmed break back above this area at approximately $2,000. But either way, whether the market is pumping, dumping, or simply chopping around sideways, you can still make money in crypto by watching these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how to make money if the price is going either up or down, like right now, and the video in the bottom left shows you how to make money if the price is chopping around sideways. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.